Welcome to TMS Insights November update. Jeremy Hook and Ben Clark bringing you what's been a pretty busy time, Ben. We've seen a lot of macro action in the US, around the world, and let's get into the big one. The first Tuesday in November is not only a horse race. Every 4 years it's a presidential election. Never know really what's going to happen. It's a bit crazy, the follow-up. But really, Ben, I suppose the result from a market's point of view is about as good as it could get.
Yeah.
Republicans controlling the Senate and a change in the president.
Yep, I think, and we sort of had a sense that the market had changed from backing Trump to tracking Biden, and I think the reaction you saw sort of said that that was the right view. And, the other concern was that Biden would just be able to pass through whatever legislation if the Republicans couldn't tap him in the Senate.
Yeah.
So, you've got what will be a very big fiscal spend in government with the checks and balances and potentially, those company tax rates, the increases that
but
they're
not too
paying
high and, not
maybe
over-regulation.
Yeah.
To the tech industry was quite concerned about over-regulation.
Yeah.
That might have come if a Democrat controlled all parts of the
I think the big winner out of it was definitely tech. And you saw that out of the NASDAQ's reaction where breakups of tech are now looking a lot less likely.
Yeah.
Republicans will fight that sort of tooth and nail, I think. So it was almost ideal.
Good
Couldn't
result,
have asked better.
And it still trails on from the background because there's been no concession, etc. But I think people should be focused now on moving forward and post all of that because a lot of that political risk has been put to bed.
Yep.
What we have seen also happen, Ben, almost straight afterwards, and this is life does get you back, Donald Trump, sometimes when you do the wrong thing by people, but Big Pharma in the form of Pfizer released very pleasing results from vaccine trials, and wow, weren't they good?
Oh, it was just incredible. I mean, we've spoken about these at length on the videos previously, but 4 trials before Christmas, we were sort of thinking, 2 might be duds, 1 might be okay, but is it enough to warrant? And then hopefully 1's 65% efficacy, which is what Fauci said he was hoping for. And 90 to 95% first cab off the ranks, just extraordinary. So, and what's amazing is how quickly this is going to roll. 20 million Americans will get vaccinated next month, and they're going to do 20 million a month after that and accelerate. And Scott Morrison signed a supply deal with Pfizer 6 days before this announcement. So we'll be one of the first countries in the world to get it, which is great news.
And particularly it's come at a good time because the news on the case numbers and deaths have not been good in the Northern Hemisphere.
No.
But herd immunity, we believe, with this Pfizer drug can be achieved with about 55% vaccination rate, which is really good. And the numbers are pretty influential on what that means for economic outcomes.
Yeah, well, we saw some big moves on the back of it. As we sort of highlighted again, we saw this huge rotation play out where a lot of the COVID winners were dumped on that day to fund a move into the beaten up COVID stuff. We saw a big jump in long bond yields, which was interesting. So the bond market sort of pricing in a faster economic recovery. And the Aussie dollar moved pretty hard as well.
Yeah.
So, it was happening in every asset class. It wasn't just shares.
And let's play this share thing out a bit because it's important. So we're now thinking post-COVID, the market changed its thinking. And you're right, Ben, we did on videos in the months preceding this, tell people about this. The vaccine will come and you want to be thinking post-COVID, not get entrenched in a virus cases and deaths sort of world, which the press does feed you.
Yeah.
But the world has already begun to move on through markets about what 2021 will look like.
Yeah.
And those sectors, education, the travel stocks, energy,
infrastructure, property,
banks, property, they moved.
Yeah.
And they moved aggressively.
Yeah. And they moved because their earnings next year are going to move.
Right.
And I'm quite positive on the outlook over the next few years because I think you've got this emergency cash environment where we're going to see a lot of cash coming into the market and we know what it does to valuations. And then I think you're going to see quite a strong year of earnings growth next year because I think you'll see the stocks that have done well through COVID will keep growing. You'll keep seeing earnings growth out of them. But a large part of the market that was really suffering will see the recovery. And so when you put it all together,
it's a good picture altogether.
Yeah.
And that's coming through with the AGM season. So we're in the middle of the AGM season, which gives us profit updates from companies. And Ben, there's been some good numbers coming through because largely the economic story here has been okay.
Yeah.
We believe we're now out of recession.
Yep, absolutely.
That'll be confirmed in the new year. And companies are telling us that they're doing well.
Yeah.
Business looks good.
It's, earnings held up very well even in the depths of concern about COVID, but I don't think I've seen actually a downgrade. I think there's been a string of more positive than expected earnings updates or reaffirmations of guidance. And it's in multiple sectors. It's not just, in one or two sort of standout spaces. So the earnings picture has been amazingly, not strong, but it's held up well. And again, I think as confidence returns to the economy, we're definitely going to see a softer landing than we thought we might have in June or July.
Yeah.
Australia's found a way, I think, amazingly well to handle this crisis, and a lot of companies are going to benefit from it as the reopening starts to occur. So you've got to, the market looks forward. It doesn't focus on what's going on
100%,
now.
yeah. And what they are looking at now is better news than we would have thought earlier in the year, and we should be upbeat about what 2021 will bring.
Definitely.
So as we're in November, we've got a bit to go for the year. We'll bring you another update in December and hopefully continue what looks like a good outlook for the share market.